In the next episode of The Old and the Restless, we're going to name this one Baton Rouge. So this latest young lady it's been a doozy. It's been very interesting. She kind of gives me vibes that my stepmother did. But I can't really tell quite yet. So the verdict is still out. I will say this. The last time I did reach out to her, I called and left a voicemail, and I haven't heard from her since. So I don't know if she's still talking to my dad or not, but let's get right into it. So my dad tells me about this new young lady. He's like, she wants to meet her, and I told my dad, I don't want to meet none of these women that you are trying to bring in your life. I said the last two were not interested in anything I had to say. He was like, well, she's different. I'm like, well, we'll see. So this young lady actually lives a little bit closer than Mississippi, and even the one that wanted to go to Mexico with my father. So she's very strong-headed, very open in regards to how she feels about things. And so I thought, okay, this one actually may be a good one, because she understood what my dad is going through. She has sensed how he behaves and whatnot. And so she had a lot of boundaries set up for him. And I'm like, okay, I see you, sis, I see you. So me and my dad ended up having an argument, which unfortunately put him into the hospital, because if his pressure goes up, then I don't know what's going on with his body, but he starts feeling a pain that I don't know about. So that is how I got in touch with her, because of course my dad leaves his cell phone all the time, and she was calling. So I said, well, let me go ahead and answer the phone and let her know where he's at. So I did that. She was very nice on the phone. She was like, Ashley, thank you for letting me know. Can you just give me an update on when he's returning? What I usually do is just tell my dad who called and let him call them back, because at the end of the day, that's his phone. Those are his friends, and I don't want to be involved in anything, because at the end of the day, I don't know you. So one thing that I found interesting on her end is that she was able to have access to my dad in terms of the VA. And I say that because when he was in the hospital, it was time for him to get discharged. They called me, but unfortunately, I think I was in the bathroom when they called me, so I missed the phone call. But crazy enough, she texted me and was like, yeah, your dad is ready to get out of the ER. Now, mind you, if he doesn't have his phone, how do you know he's ready to be discharged? I did find out from her that I think she has access somehow, some way to get my dad's information, even though she could be violating HIPAA. But I don't think she's aware that I'm very aware of FERPA laws. And so what that means is I'm also aware of HIPAA laws as well. And so by her not being a relative to the family, how are you getting access? Now, are you pretending to be me? I don't know. But it's been very interesting. But I've kept my mouth shut. I'm not going to say nothing. So she was like, she wants to come over, hang out with us, see what's going on, and maybe try to help fix the situation. This was a good approach. I said, okay, I'm kind of liking her because she likes my dad. She wants to kind of help fix the situation, so she's trying to invest. So I went as far as even picking her up out of Baton Rouge and bringing her to New Orleans for Super Bowl weekend. Now, she got a close bird's eye view of what's really going on within the house, in terms of how my dad wants to be catered to, and he just wants to chill and have somebody take care of him, right? She wasn't feeling that at all. She was like, Roger, you're going to get off that sofa. You're going to come in here and help me. And I was like, woohoo, touche. Dad, okay, I like this one. So it was a good weekend. The day that she was supposed to leave, she was like, let's go over the finances. Now, I was kind of hesitant because, yet again, she's not family, she's not related, and only been around for a couple of months. So I really don't know her. But I said, you know what? If she's here to help and help my dad understand, that's fine. Now, in terms of that, it was a anomaly situation because he had more in his account than he usually would do, so that really didn't help figuring out everything, but it did open his eyes to a lot of things. And when I say he was pissed, he didn't like it at all. Now, we asked him, do you want me there? He didn't want to answer that question. I know why he didn't want to answer that question, because if he answered that question, then that means I'm gone and he has nobody to help him. So he kept his mouth shut. But in all honesty, he didn't want me there. He didn't want me touching his finances at all. So she leaves. I thought it was I thought we were at a standstill in terms of everything, but I guess I was wrong. Another month comes by. He's not happy about how everything is coming out. He is livid. Now, at this point, I have not spoken to her. I don't know what's going on. She did make it aware that my aunt views me as a villain. That's fine. She also made it aware about my aunt that passed had left the house to the family, and my dad did not want to do anything in terms of anything with that house. And I understood that. If it was between his daughter and his sister, my dad's going to pick his sister. Yeah, my dad's going to pick his sister. And I understand. And to be quite honest, I'm not hurt by it. I actually kind of knew that was coming. So that kind of left me in a pickle because pretty much I have been cornered into the wall in terms of where I fall in place in terms of the family. And that's okay. So bills hit, dad is livid. So now all of a sudden things are getting quiet. The CNA is not talking to me about anything that's going on, but things are going on behind my back. And I guess a lot of people don't know that I know what's going on. I don't know who all knows what's going on. And to this day, I don't know if he's still talking to the young lady in Baton Rouge. But at this point, he has closed his bank account. I have received an email about our phone. If we don't pay it, that it will get disconnected. I've received an email that his SSI check that was supposed to be sent to that account was sent to that account, but because the account's closed, it's getting sent back to IRS. I don't think my dad's aware of that. I've also gotten an email about the electricity bill that we have a due date coming up. And unfortunately, because my dad doesn't check his emails, he doesn't know any of this. Because why? I have been in charge of all the bills. But because he wanted to close that account because of me, he's trying to ice me out. He's icing out all the bills as well. I did reach out to her, like I said. I have not spoken to her. She has not responded back. So at this point, I don't even know if she's still talking to my dad. I don't know if she's just wiped her hands of all of us. And I can respectfully understand it because it's a lot coming into this particular family. It is a lot. But I'm on my own on this journey. And at this point in my life and where I'm at in this journey, I am not going to allow my dad to affect me. So now he's threatening to get rid of my dog. He is being very ugly in terms of towards my son. It's kind of hostile in the house, and so I just keep quiet if I'm in the house, and if I have to dip out, then I get what I need, and then I'm gone. Unfortunately, though, he is going to change when he realized that shit's going to hit the fan, that his check got sent back to the IRS, which means they're going to have to cut him a check, which means it may be another 2 weeks before he gets that money, which means it's going to stop the bills from getting paid, unless he calls one of his siblings or my brother and starts crying, complaining about whatever he did. So this is more so to a warning to all the women out there. Be mindful in terms of who you're trying to date and what you're walking into, especially if they're sick. To the ladies that have fathers that are sick, if you have a brother, let your brother do it. Because the thing about it is, my dad will not, me and him we bicker because, I'm not going to say it's a power struggle, but because he thinks he's a man, he can overpower me. But if it was my uncle or my brother, he wouldn't do that. And it's a very interesting dynamic for me. And unfortunately, all this is unfolding in front of my son. And this is not something I wanted my son to see. But unfortunately, he is experiencing this. So that's what's going on currently right now. That's what's going on in my life. And I just ask you guys to pray.